All right, guys, this week, our final preparations for getting us ready to go to Six Smokies. We've got our QA1 triangulated 4-link in here. We've got everything set and adjusted. And at this point, we're already loaded up and ready to go. Let's jump right into it. Let's see what we do to finish everything up this week and get ready to go, including our first test drive. So here we go. We're just trying, there's like 1,000 little jobs that we're trying to kind of wrap up all at the same time here. So let me talk you through it. We started bleeding the brakes, had a few leaks. This thing has always had leaks, I swear, it drives you crazy. So we did that, then went ahead and assembled our shocks and springs and got them put on here. And they turned out really good, man. We maximized our space for sure. So if we come right here, you can see we've got about an inch clearance on the fuel tank and the springs and shocks there on the spring specifically. So that was exactly what we were shooting for. We have we jacked it up to where it came off these front jack stands, put jack stands under the axle housing there, and then Daddy, you want to kind of push on the back of it? And you can kind of see what we're dealing with there. So it's, you know, so those are 170-pound springs. That's what came with this kit. I think we're going to be pretty close. We might have to do some swapping or something. I don't know that for a fact. Right, yeah, we don't have them loaded at all. We literally just put them on and have them touching the springs. That was as far as we've done. We haven't compressed the spring at all. So there we are. Those are there. Those are together. Let's check out this side too.
This bed on is going to change.
And you can see this side here as well. So those are basically straight up and down, and they are right there together. We can turn them, we can adjust everything. You can see what our gap is, or about 1/4 of an inch clearance on the ring and the mounts there. So you can kind of see that it's really close, but like I said, it's what we had to do to make it work with our setup here. And man, this thing just looks so good. So, what do you mean? Like what are now, or what they should be? Well, right now the shock centers are 15 inches. We want that to be 14 1/4 whenever we get it loaded, bed on it, and it's sitting in the floor. That's what we were shooting for, was for that shock center to be 14 1/4. Right now they're 15, but again, there's no bed. The bed's sitting here, it's ready to go on. So bumper, yeah, there's still things to add to this that are going to change it. So we're close, we're happy with where we are, and we're going to adjust it once we get everything else put on. The other thing I did, went ahead and just wrapped up our wiring. You guys have seen me do that 100 times. Just wrapped it up with some of our loom here, laid it out, added a plug here to the fuel pump so that can be unplugged in the future. These, just kind of routed all these wires. Fuel hoses here, our new Aero Motive filter and regulator. So that's all routed here. Use these little deals that are pretty cool. These are little standoffs for zip ties that have magnets on them. And so you can see those are pretty stout there. And just using them because there's nothing in a strain back here. But I just wanted to kind of keep everything held in place. Same thing on these right here. So just enough to kind of keep the fuel lines from moving around a bunch, even though there shouldn't be really anything on them. So yeah, that's kind of wrapped up. So those are the odd job, like the jobs that we've been working on here, and we're really close. I think the next thing we'll do, make sure that the brakes are fully bled. Then I think we can go ahead and set the bed on it, make sure it gets bolted down, and then we can put our fenders on. Dad was also working on those filler panels. You guys saw him shrinking those. We went ahead and got those finished up. They're a 2-piece deal, so here's one side of it. It's the longer side, and then the shorter side that is matching the radius of the rear fender. We just added some of this rubber edge molding here to keep it from rubbing against the bed. These are not structural at all. They're just aluminum, and they will get riveted to the fenders just to basically cover up the space that is created with our aluminum spacers that we have right here. They give us an 1.5 inch clearance so that we can fit our center lines over there. Guess what officially looks like a truck again? We got running boards on, rear fenders on. The rear fenders have our spacers in here that you guys saw Dad making. And if we come up in here, you can see what that turned out like underneath. So these aluminum spacers are rigidly against the bed, and then this fender is even more ridiculously sturdy than it was even whenever we put this thing together initially. Same thing on the running boards. They are rigidly in place. 3 bolts back here and a handful of bolts. I can't remember exactly how many ended up in each running board. Super solid, and we didn't even have to change anything about these filler panels here. The only thing we did, we made a spacer so that that guy would bolt up to the fender, and then run a screw in this just to close the gap that was there. But nothing changed on those panels other than that right there. So that's pretty cool. We pretty much just have a checklist that we're going through and knocking off little things. We got the bumper put on. We got to put the tailgate on. Dad is working on some fender braces. These trucks have braces here that hold this from flopping, but you can see kind of how rigid all of that is now, that this has very little motion in it. But he's going to go ahead and take these original ones, which these are the original ones. He just cleaned up and they are like pristine, and he is going to bolt them here and here and then extend them. So we'll still get some we'll still have that to keep this motion to a minimal. So he's going to extend those. Like I said, I'm just working through that list. We're getting I got to put the tailgate on next. We have to still go and tighten up all the bars. Got to check, make sure they're all the same, do our measurements, all of that stuff, and then we're ready to set this thing on the ground and finally see what it looks like all together with the center lines, and hopefully take it out for a drive, see what it does. Alright, you guys saw us get it out and put it on the center lines. Well, thought we were going to be able to drive it, but we ended up having to bring it back in and bleed the brakes again. Just go through them again. Everything seems better. So we're actually now finally going to take this thing out on its official ride. First ride. So we got our shocks where we wanted them, got the springs loaded up. Only ended up with about 5 threads. Those are 170-pound springs. So only ended up with about 5 threads off the bottom of the shocks. So now we got that adjusted. That set our ride height at that 4 1/4, 4 1/8. I think it's kind of where it ended up. And so we are really happy with where that's at. So let's take it out and just see how it does. I set the compression and rebound to 4 clicks on both, the compression and rebound, each one of them at 4 as just a baseline. That's based off the notes from QA1. So let's see how it turns out. We might have to do some more adjusting on that, but won't know till we drive it. So this is the first drive since we've done everything. So fingers crossed everything goes all right. So far looks good. I was just looking for, I'm trying to see the fuel pressure and I don't know exactly why I'm not seeing it. Rides better.
It does.
It definitely rides better.
Yes, it does.
And it rides good. Like I think that 4 and 4 was a pretty good starting point.
I think so too.
so, you're just listening for every noise that you can possibly even imagine could be happening. So I'm watching the HP tuners. I've got it pulled up here, just seeing if everything's good. I would love to be able to see my fuel pressure. We put that Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator on this thing, and I'd really like to know what that's at, but if for some reason my fuel pressure is reading 0 right now, of course we know that's not true, but I can check the gauge in the back. We left the gauge on that regulator, so I'm just looking at everything else and just listening. Our buddy Brian over at Blue Collar Hot Rods down in Florida, I met him through Colin at the Daily Misfire, and he sent us over a tune of a few things that he wanted us to try as well. So we have that in here, but for now, we're not going to kind of get on this thing until we're, we make sure everything's good, make sure we've done a good run here, and see where we're at. Good. Shifted really good.
Yeah.
And I wish I could see the fuel pressure. I don't know why I'm not seeing it.
Well, it's like does ride a heck of a lot.
It rides so much better.
Yeah,
It is really. Yeah.
You feel it go there,
Yeah.
chunk.
Turns out that if you don't smash the frame into the axle housing, things seem to ride a little better. This truck, I'm telling you guys, I can't explain to you how night and day different it is from the very first time we sat in it after we finished it getting ready for Power Tour in 2023 to right now. It is not the same truck. All the rear suspension work we've done, the changing into the Kirky seats, all of those things have made this truck completely different and 100% better. 100% better. All right, I would call that a very successful first test drive. Where there's like no other word for it than kind of howl. It's not that bad, but there is a noise that we're hearing that we've never heard before. It used to have, there was like not a grinding noise. How would you describe the noise that we used to have?
Roar.
Yeah, well, there was a roar that you could hear kind of in this area, seemed like, and you would hear that randomly, but pretty consistently at the same time. And so that's gone. We don't hear that at all. But now there's like a whirring. It's the only way I could describe it, is this like whirring sound that you hear kind of randomly while we're driving it. But in general, rides much better, much like night and day better. Like I said, the frame's definitely not slamming into the axle housing anymore, and seems that Brian has that 1-2 shift pretty good just on that little bit of that we did. But we'll have to test that out a little more later. Alright guys, we are in the packing phase of trying to get everything ready. We did a nut and bolt check on the truck, and we're doing a little bit of creature comfort here. We're building us kind of a little center console. And you can see here we've got a piece of aluminum. It needs to come back a little. We've got a piece of aluminum here. We're going to take this and fill the gap between the seats. So if we come in here and look, this gap here, we're just going to fill it so that'll rest in here. Put a couple screws in it on the front and back. Boy, that's a pleasant noise. Whoa. All right, cup holder 1. Those are based off the diameter cup holders in the Suburban. Little hole sawing, a little bit of trim, edge molding here. These turned out really good. Those are perfect. Now, we might cut a couple spaces in here to put our phones so that they're not just flopping around constantly. Let's see what we get into on that. I'm not sure. We're also planning to take a couple of walkie-talkies with us for just make it easy for us to talk to Colin and his family. that are going. The daily misfire there, they have those same radios. So let's see what Dad's coming up with here.
Smoker tray. Lip. Walkie-talkie, send the phones. Don't cut no holes. Just bend the 90 on this.
Oh, okay.
90 here. Just make a tray.
Okay.
Make it a pie nut so it don't slide out of it.
Gotcha.
Put a piece of yoga mat.
Ah, gotcha.
Put a piece of yoga mat.
Yeah.
And let it lay on them.
Yoga matter. Do we have any toolbox lining? Do we have any of that? There's toolbox lining you can stick in there too.
Ask him on hard questions.
We're just kind of on the fly. I feel like we're like stressing a little, but we're really not. We've got a lot of stuff packed already. We got our Hoosiers put onto our center lines there. Got a generator, a jack, tarp. This is some octane booster. This isn't for like, ooh, we're trying to be performance. This is really just for safety, to make sure that we don't have any knock in the engine during our passes. That's really, like I said, it's not just to be like, ooh, we're putting more octane in the fuel. It's really just a safety to make sure that we don't have anything go on crazy with the engine. So, right, that's true. Yeah, with this route, I have no idea what kind of quality of gas and stuff like that. And let's be honest, gas is kind of crap pretty much everywhere now. So, I wouldn't be surprised we kind of get into some bad gas at points. So that's just an extra protection. I think one jug of that will bring 10 gallons up 8 points or something like that. So it's pretty good little safety in there to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep us so we can finish the route. All right, so check out our finished product here. I took the cups out of my cup holder in my C10 truck and stuck them with some Velcro onto this carpet under here, because this was just big enough to where a bottle of water could and go under the seat. So those cups are just there as a little bit of support to keep anything from coming out of them. You can see, took basically some toolbox liner, yoga mat or whatever, put in here, and it's a perfect place just to put our phones and stuff, just to keep them from sliding around. That turned out really good. I didn't put any glue or anything, it's just laying there, so that's nice. So that kind of got us the center console how we wanted it. And you can see we have all of our stuff kind of prepped up here. We got a little 2-gallon Craftsman air compressor, hose, there's my helmet. I've got a set of shoes and a fire jacket here. This is just a tarp, a tarp that we wanted to lay out so we can lay everything on it during the day. Little Craftsman toolbox of my own, some of our battery powered tools. This is our octane booster. Our wheels and tires, of course. We have this lightweight aluminum jack that we're going to take with us, because you can literally pretty much pick this thing up with one hand, so it saves a little bit of weight. Dad's got a little toolbox, just some random stuff, thread sealer, tire patches, tire plug tool, some paper towels and hand wipes and wire, and we're just trying to go out of our way to make sure we have as much stuff as we could possibly need to make sure that we can get it all, try and cover all the bases that we can. So that's what we're doing, just getting everything packed. Man, I'm so excited. I'm like so nervous because literally, think about this, at Huntsville will be, during the test and tune, my first pass there at the test tune will only be my 5th pass ever at a drag strip. So it's like, on top of the kind of untried truck here that we've road tested it, it did good. We haven't made a pass at the drag strip with it yet, but like with all that going on top of that, I'm still basically learning how to drag race. So I know the principles, I understand the concepts, but just getting it all applied and hopefully being consistent each one of those days. I'm nervous, to be honest, just flat out. But you don't figure out anything if you don't ever do it. So here we go. All right, guys, we are loaded up and ready to go. Look at this, what all we've got in here. We've got our Hoosier drag bracket radials. They're 29.5, 10.5, 29.5 by 10.5 by 15s. Toolbox, air tank, some jack stands. We got our jack under here, a tarp to put some stuff on, some general tools and things. Have a little generator, a little air compressor, another little toolbox. We have our ramps that we need if we ever needed to jack the front of the truck up for some reason. And I think, minus my camera equipment that I think will fit in the cab of the truck here, I've got my fire jacket, my helmet, and my shoes in here also. I think minus that, everything else is ready to go. I think this is it. I'm sure there'll be another thing or two that we add to this by the time we leave, but in general, this is what we're going with. This load lowered the back of the truck another inch. So our shock centers right now are 13 and 5/8. That still gives us 2 inches of travel on the bottom side. The fully compressed length's 11 and 5/8. So there's still about 2 inches there. I bumped the compression up to 7 clicks instead of 4, and then bumped the rebound up to 6 clicks. So we got 6 on our rebound, 7 on our compression, and it's pretty solid. Even if I get back here on the bumper, there's not a lot of travel, so it seems to be pretty good. Man, it's about time. We're like so ridiculously close. I think everything's ready to go, and basically that's gonna wrap us up this week. Probably as this video goes out on Sunday, we will still be driving to Alabama. Now don't forget, we're planning to put out daily videos, so how it'll probably work is the drive Saturday and the day 0 tech and everything for Sunday will probably go out Monday evening. Something like that is kind of what I have in mind. And then from there it'll just go on. So Monday will come out Tuesday, Tuesday will come out Wednesday. We'll kind of do it that way. That's my tentative plan unless I mess something up or something doesn't work like I want it to. So that's where we are right now. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're going to be putting up tons of posts and reels and updates and everything throughout the week there, as well as all the shorts will go onto YouTube. So make sure you hit subscribe and watch every one of these videos this week, man. We've put in a ton of work on this to try and make this happen, make it to where we can do this the best that we possibly can. I want to say a massive shout out and thank you to QA1 for working with us on this. This has so far just been such an awesome kit, and I'm so excited to actually finally put it on the track and see how it performs. But a huge thank you to them because they've been awesome. They were so, no questions asked. They talked to us and said, yeah, we want to work with you guys, which is really cool. So here we go. This is what we're here for. This is what we're going to do. So make sure you follow us, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow.